Hey Pretty Girl Club. This is a follow-up video to a previous one I just recorded, and it was talking about how we can begin to build our own culture. And one of the things I was thinking about is creating safe spaces for ourselves. So I see that a lot of you guys are starting your own YouTube channels. By the way, if you have a channel and you talk about similar talking points to me, please comment down below so that the other girls who are on this channel can subscribe to you guys. But creating our own safe spaces is very important because I feel like the first step to reclaiming your identity is having a safe space to actually vent, having a safe space and other people who are similar to you who can talk about their experiences. It's knowing that you're not alone and knowing that you're not crazy, you're not delusional. 14,000 of us, we can't all be making this stuff up. We can't all just be telling ourselves stories in our heads. So clearly, there is a pattern here. Clearly, we all have very similar experiences. And so I think that we've actually been doing a really good job of creating our own safe spaces and actually carving out our own niche on YouTube. I mean, this is amazing. I never thought that this is what it would be. I didn't think that this would become like an actual niche with like a lot of other people starting channels, and I'm so excited to see that. But another way that we can build our own culture is to continue discussing our backgrounds, to be proud of our skin tones and our phenotypes. I've talked to you guys before about how you can do things like making your username on YouTube, making it something that represents your ethnicity or your heritage, something that shows pride for who you are. It could be showing pride in your skin tone, like calling yourself, I don't know, chocolate Blasian girl, or just cute nicknames that serve as a way of validating yourself. For the people who say, oh, you're making being mixed your personality, if you are dumb enough to judge my entire personality based on my username, that is your problem. People can make whatever online usernames they want. People can call themselves by whatever fun nicknames they want to. But that's another way that we can contribute to building our own culture and building our own spaces, at least online. We have to be unapologetically ourselves. Another thing that we've been naturally pretty good at is learning how to create a language around our experiences. So here in this community, we've coined terms like fluid identity. We've talked about pretty girl problems. We've talked about privilege stacking and social climbing. And we talk about being an MLS woman, terms like multi-generationally mixed and triracial. All of these terminologies that we've been coming up with, that is actually contributing to us building our own culture because we are starting to come together and discuss our experiences to the point where now we are able to create terms to describe what it is that we've been going to, being thrown in and out of blackness. That is obviously a very common experience that all of us have had. So creating slang terms, that is another way that we can contribute to building our own culture, at least online. Another thing that you guys have been really good at doing is starting your own businesses. Some of the other content creators, I see you guys starting Patreons, you guys are making your own Etsy shops, and that is amazing. I love seeing women who look like me out in the world succeeding because another big thing that I try to promote on this channel is getting out of jobs where you are controlled by basic betties. We have to get away from the basic betties because a lot of women, they don't have our best interest at heart. A lot of women, they try to, I don't know, kind of keep us down or bash us. You know how misery loves company. I know that not all women are like that, but one way that we can support each other is by supporting each other's businesses, supporting each other's Patreons. Another thing that we can do is stay active on social media because social media is actually how we can reach the next generation. So all of the divestors who are creating mixed race children right now, they are one day going to come across our YouTube channels. They are one day going to come across MLS people and MLS talking points, and they are going to realize that they are mixed race. They're going to realize that they get thrown in and out of blackness, and they're going to come to our content and be able to relate to what we are talking about. So as long as we stay active and stay visible, that is something that will really help us to build our own culture. It's obvious that this is a niche. This channel is growing very quickly. There are thousands of people coming here every single month. I do predict that within the next 5 years, this will become a mainstream talking point. This channel is going to grow, and I see a lot of the brand new channels, the smaller ones, that are growing really fast. I know that you guys are growing way faster than my channel was growing when I first started. So that's another thing that's really encouraging. Another thing that has really been helping us to grow our own culture is being inclusive to the point where it's like, if you can relate to the content is for you. And if you can't relate to it, then this is not for you. So I've noticed that whenever there is a new movement starting around multi generationally mixed people or people who are not unambiguous monoracial dark skinned black women, a lot of people tend to get caught up in the nitty gritty details of arguing against each other, like Blasians versus mulattoes versus light skinned exoticals versus dark skinned exoticals. And people, they try to divide themselves up into all of these small subcategories and subgroups. And if we want to divide ourselves up into subgroups, that's why I tell you guys to make your own channels, because I can't cover, I can only talk about things from my experience and my background, which is black, white, and Latin American. So I don't know what it's like to be a Creole person. I don't know what it's like to be a Blasian person. So I can only talk from my perspective. And if we want to bring nuance to the conversation, the best way to do that is to represent ourselves as opposed to just looking to me to represent you. You can make your own channel to talk about your specific phenotypes. You can talk about MLS women with type 4 hair or exoticals who are of a darker complexion, just whatever you feel you want to talk about. Bringing nuance to the conversation also is going to continue to help this niche to grow on YouTube. It's going to help our community grow. Another thing that I realized is that, so one unambiguous black man, I don't know how he got onto this channel. I don't know why it would even pop up in his algorithm, but he came on my channel and he was trying to argue and say, if you have blackness as a part of your identity, that's not exotic. Anybody can be exotic. You can be white and seen as exotic. You can see, just like how black men see white girls as exotic, there are white guys who see black women as exotic. There are people who see mixed women as exotic. So if every other group of women on this planet gets to call themselves exotic, from unambiguous black women to unambiguous white women, why is it that suddenly if someone is mixed race, or suddenly if someone is lighter skinned and they're a monoracial black woman, they can't call themselves exotic? No, you don't get to police the terminologies that we use in our community. And this is why it's really important for all of us to maintain our own voice online, because if you are speaking up, people can't silence you. If you create your own channel, if you create your own space to tell your story, nobody can silence you. Another thing that can help us to build our community is focusing on our commonalities, focusing on the experiences that we've had that are similar to one another. I've noticed that it seems like the majority of us have experienced quote unquote pretty privilege due to people's own self-hatred. So other people's self-hatred is not our problem. A lot of people try to say that I am equating beauty to being part white, or I'm equating beauty to non-blackness. That's actually not the case, because when I use the term looking mixed, what I'm talking about is actually a blend of both black and non-black features. So I'm saying that what makes us beautiful is actually our uniqueness. It's the fact that we do not look like the average monoracial of any group, monoracial black and monoracial white as well. But I've noticed that people who can't relate to the content, they get offended by our confidence. But the way that we can combat that is to continue talking about our common experiences and not being afraid to embrace the positive qualities about who we are. Like I said, every other group of women, they get to call themselves pretty. Unambiguous women call themselves beautiful. They say their melanin is popping. They say they have black girl magic. White women, blonde women, Italians, anybody, like any other group of women, they can call themselves pretty and beautiful. But suddenly when I call us pretty and beautiful, it's a problem. No. Part of the way that we can maintain our culture and our sense of identity is by continuing to validate ourselves in a positive way, as opposed to looking to black men to validate us, looking to white men to validate us, looking to black women to validate us. We get to validate ourselves and take back our own power. That's another thing that's really going to contribute to us having our own culture and being able to tell our stories. Because as far as building a culture, like I said, I focus on online because that's what I'm good at. I'm good at creating content. I am not renting out venues in real life and doing a rally or a march or something. That is not my strength. My strength is doing things online. And so when it comes to creating an online community, yes, I think it's important to take back our power and to not be afraid to stand up for the things that we've been through and to be unapologetically ourselves. Another thing that has been helping us to build this niche on YouTube is ignoring people who try to infiltrate the space. So this is YouTube. I can't control who watches my videos. I know that people of all backgrounds and, all kinds of people will watch my channel. But one thing that I try to do is I do not allow the people watching my channel to sway my talking points. I stay strong on whatever I'm talking about. I tell people my biases because everybody has biases. So I'm not afraid to talk about my biases. I'm not afraid to talk about what I'm interested in. And I think that a part of what draws people to talking about exoticals or talking about mixed women or black women who look mixed, part of what draws people to that is the fact that we're not afraid to have unpopular opinions. We're not afraid to speak out about something from a different perspective. And I think that is what draws people in. It's the controversy. So learning how to play on that controversy and use it to our advantage, that has really been helping us. And I think that's going to continue to help us to grow as a culture. Another core part of us building our own community online, in my opinion, it is decentering men. Because I've noticed that women who are the most male-centered, they tend to see other women as threats or as competitions and stuff. That's when you get the cattiness and stuff. It's when men are involved. So when we decenter men and when we just focus this on ourselves, focus it on women and friendship dynamics between women and stuff, that actually has really helped my channel to become so much more peaceful. My channel, I haven't had beef on this channel in years, and that is because I have decentered men from my YouTube channel. I no longer allow men to come in and try to tell me what I should and shouldn't talk about. I no longer have guys in my Discord, in my ear about other content creators and what their agendas are and stuff. So there's no one to really sow discord. There is no one to infiltrate our space to try to divide us against each other and to try to make us feel like we are competitors amongst ourselves as women. So that has been another thing that has helped to really grow this community. Because another thing that I've noticed is that I don't think I've ever been in the presence of a man where he has not asked me to change something about myself. Has anybody else noticed that? Anytime you get involved with men, like anytime a man is involved in your business or your community or something that you're building, usually the man just starts wanting to come in and change stuff. He wants you to change your talking points, change your business model, change certain things about yourself. And so I've noticed that decentering men from this movement has actually been amazing as far as getting rid of male-centered women, not dealing with the jealous pick-me types of women. And I've just noticed that it's made it a lot more peaceful. But what do you ladies think? How can we keep building our own culture? How can we keep building an online community? Let me know what you think in the comments section, and I'll talk to you next time. Stay pretty, ladies.